Truth seekers. We have a good information that we're going to talk about tonight. Well, I will call it a show. And of course, if you've been looking at the news lately, you have been knowing that I think a few days ago, our Vice President J D Vance went on someplace and said something about he wants to explore the UFO files, like it's some type of X files or whatever. And a lot of people, it's been a lot of buzz around that right now, a lot of buzz. And I'm like, okay, where is this coming from? But I'm going to give you a different viewpoint tonight that I think it just kind of makes sense that we shouldn't be worrying about wagging the dog again and again and again. But in the meantime, hope you had a great weekend. Today is Monday and we are live, and I had a great weekend too, or the start of a great week or month or whatever. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But in the meantime, I bid you good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the 24 time zones that this show airs, and we're everywhere. So if you're here for the very first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. And also make sure you subscribe, hit the like button tonight so that we can get those likes up, and we'll just jump right into the conversation. Now, it all stems from, like I said, a few media posts and things that you see around, like this one, where it says J D Vance, this was a couple of days ago, what's actually going on. He is obsessed supposedly with the UFO sightings and wants to get to the bottom of the mystery. And then once again, he's saying it again here. He says it's his top priority. And I'm gonna call bull. I'm just gonna really call bull on this one, because once again, it's another part of the headlines. Another thing is when you start looking at his presidency, or not president, but being a vice president, he really ain't got much going on out there. And so for him to already start lobbying for his next run for election or for president, then maybe this is where he thinks, like the Epstein files was on the other, the president now he thinks the UFO files is going to be a good running thing to bring in those conspiracy type people and voters. But I think right now people should start getting to a point where they go, heck no, because we already know it's a lie. Anyway, I've studied these things, their playbook, for years when it comes down to this. And when vice president suddenly says he wants to dig into the UFO files, it's never curiosity. It's just another cover. It always is. And of course, we have entered what I consider a new psychological operation cycle, where the truth is kind of a obsessed puppet is how they doing it. And Vance just became the latest actor, and he don't fit right into the slot. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And when you talk about this, because when you start looking at his quote, and I say it again, is actually was right here on one of these headlines, or is it this one? In particular, I think it's this one. I quote, he says, "I'm obsessed with the stuff, and he plans to dive into the UFO files during the August recess." Now, where is this coming from? Why all of a sudden he's obsessed with it? And who's going to believe that he even got the power to unearth anything anyway? He doesn't. He doesn't. He can't do anything anyway. He don't have congressional power like some of these people who trying to disclose things, and they're not getting anywhere with that. And now he's like, oh, I'm gonna. And like I said, it's time for him to start building himself to be next in line for the president, and he needs to do this, and people are going to jump into it. Again, he joked about Area 51 and that he's obsessed with this stuff. He plans to dive into the UFO files, like he said. He also called it a super weird that we haven't heard more, that is super weird that we haven't heard more. Now, again, he's working under the current president. Now, we already know when we start talking about there's nothing to see their files that they're talking about right now. Imagine the opposition if he thinks that he's going to waltz in and say, okay, we're going to release some things that we don't even know already. Like it's something new he's going to say that haven't been put out here, that haven't been confirmed, of course. But at the end of the day, we don't even know. But again, it's going to get support. He's going to start getting a rally cry. It's going to take some of the attentions off some of the other things. It's just a cover. And he's going to get people think, oh, now we're going to get disclosure because J D Vance he's obsessed with this. bull crap, and once again, it's the same wag the tail thing that they've been doing for quite some time, and they're going to continue to do it over and over and over. And no one in this particular community, and we don't talk about politics, y'all know that. Religion and politics in a more deeper fashion is not as, we don't go down that route, but we are going to say we're not going to play politics with them when it comes down to lying and all of these things. And so remember, this identical was to even Biden, Epstein's play in 2020. We're going to expose the truth, the silence. Then, of course, 2024 came out with the next president. We're going to expose the truth. They do these things all day long, but what they don't think we know is that the military industrial complex runs the UFO stuff. The private contractors run the UFO stuff. It is nothing to do with the powers that be, because again, if a president wants to exploit or give out technology or tell the truth, it's going to hurt the military industrial complex who have given them the items to reverse engineer in the first place. And then what? It's going to give their competitive edge. Then they're going to tell them, we're not going to make you another weapon anymore. It's just a whole snowball effect that happens that it's just not going to go down. It's not going to go down. And people, we're not going to fall for it. And I don't think people needs to fall for it, because once again, it is something that is not going to go down. Now, once again, he's framing himself as just curious. So nothing in the surface. Public doesn't get angry, just to nod and move on. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna. In fact, I have a little clip. I don't know how I have it totally, but I do have a little clip, and pretty much. Let me see. Yeah.
There are stories that I am particularly focused on, in part just because you talk with your buddies about it. Like, I'm obsessed with the whole UFO thing. What's actually going on? What were those videos all about? What's actually happening? I haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but we're only 6 months in. We've been very busy. That's actually the August recess is in part me going to try to dive to the bottom of the whole UFO thing from last year. So
I mean, you got to have us back.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Now, this is the same dude who, before he became vice president, was said the same exact words about the Epstein files. Same thing. Now he ain't saying a word now, right? We know why. The same thing when it comes down to this. And so when he talking about, oh, I can't wait to dig into it after when we get back from the recess, I guarantee you they're gonna make more stories about it, but he ain't gonna unsurface nothing. And he can't. He doesn't have the power to do so. Yeah, it's just a personal thing that he may get some phone calls made for himself, but he ain't going to reveal something to us. And if he does, it's going to go down a route of campaigning years from now to be elected president. So those things are just kind of crazy. But again, I think it's emotional bait without policy commitment. It's a deception. It's all deception. That's all that it is. And yet they're trying to make it news. And then all of a sudden, people are going to get behind it, especially in our industry. Or, yeah, man, we're going to get some disclosure, and especially if they voted in that way. I'm just saying they think it's going to be something, but it's all a deception, plain and simple. We're not going to get anything. And this is what changed everything that I'm going to go into when these politicians start pretending to be you. When they start trying to pretend like they're us, they're curious just like we are. They are, it's something they've been wanting to know. They know the game. They know the rules. They know what they can do and can't do. They already been told. They was been told when they came up the ranks. They was told the first time he thought when he was something before this, I want to reveal some UFO stuff. And he got hit and slapped on the wrist and said, no, you're not. They know the game. And yet it's just come out now. Why now? Remember, there's always a question for that when it comes down to it, because you got to remember, it ain't got nothing to do with, maybe it's got something to do with his current boss is slipping in approval. Trust in institutions are collapsing right now, because right now a lot of people ain't trusting nothing that comes out of that house or anywhere around it. They just don't. And why not? And then all of a sudden you want to go and hit there. So when you think about the Epstein stuff, that the FOIA requests have hit dead ends, we're talking about pardons. We're talking about all these things. And why do I compare the two? Not so much in the hitting insidious and hideous crimes of it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it was the same thing that happened, the conversations of what we're going to release. And people are so excited. Kennedy, Epstein, MLK, UFO, alien, all of this stuff. It's like they know that there are some free thinkers in our communities that we don't care about all the other stuff, but we do care about the conspiracy stuff, right? The word on the street. And so therefore they know how to bring stuff out to catch our attention for the BS. And it works, people. It works. And it's something that I'm just saying for now, we're not going to go that route. We can care less in what they're talking about, because the UFO narrative offers the perfect mystery. It always has. No one can disprove it, and it doesn't require resolution. It's just it goes on forever. It just does. It's been going on forever, and it's going to continue to go on forever. And they know that. So why stick their foot into that particular pond and wade their little feet in it? Because they're not diving into it. I promise you that. But it ticks me off because we're going to get people responding. Finally, we're going to get this. Oh, we're about to get this. J D Vance is going to do this. He's not going to do nothing. And I'm sure if his people are watching this, they can write an email, because he's not. I guarantee you. He just said what he wanted to say. He has been curious as a person. Maybe he just want to be seen as a real live individual. But other than that, it ain't nothing coming out. It's nothing to see there. But, we're going to keep going down this thing, because I think it's very important, because you're going to start seeing more and more, more and more ads, not ads, but news coverage. And I think it's a possible psyop. It really is. It sounds like a psyop function. Something is about to happen that they're trying to start this. You remember, it's problem, reaction, solution. And they already just got my reaction with the problem. So how are there going to be solutions? So maybe it's a deflect from something that's getting ready to happen, or maybe it's the border stuff, or maybe it's the biolab, something, or Epstein stuff, right? Because we're about to see something magical happen with this lady if she get a pardon. So the whole point of it, and believe me, you think she ain't going to get a pardon because she's going to say somebody doesn't exist in those files? You better believe that is the deal. That is totally the deal, because she can't get a pardon from nobody else but him. Okay, the feds, ain't nobody can. Maybe they can go back and say we're going to reduce the sentence or something. I don't know. Maybe she can work from that end, but you better believe that's not going to happen. So I'm saying to you, this is how these things happen, right in plain sight, right in our faces. And they can care less when it comes down to this. And this is something, but again, this isn't disclosure. I just want you to know it's a sedative. That's all it is. It's a sedation. It's a pause, or what would we call it? A interception or hijack or whatever. Whatever you want to name it is what it is, but it's not what is said and being said in some of these headlines like this one here, which was all over the news. And what was this? This was in politics. J D Vance says his top priority. Look at this. His top priority is to go full X-File. Really? Really? I mean, if I had to just say it, I'll say something like this.
Now that's a damn lie.
Or I can get even a little better.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
There's no way. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. And that's the whole point. And they want to start putting that stuff out there like it's going to go down, but it's not. But people are going to fall into it. I want y'all to pay attention to it. You heard me say it. Watch how it swirls in the next few weeks on all these different people's channels that's going to be saying things like, oh, we about to get some stuff now, y'all. J D Vance is going after this. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Don't even go for it. It's not going to happen. Don't even go for it. And when you start hearing some of these other podcasters, and I'm not saying all of them is going to fall for the okie doke. There's some of them that's not going to do it either. They already know it's hogwash. There's many of them that knows that. But you're gonna get one or two that's gonna be like all excited. Oh, they're gonna be clapping their hands and rubbing their fingers together and saying, "Oh, my knee was itching last week. I knew something was about to happen." Now J D Vance said he's gonna go full ballistic on X Files for the UFO files. He's the vice president, people. And that's probably about as sidetrack as anything else can get. But it's not about vice presidency that's happening here. It's a position for when he decides to go to the next level, he can pull in our communities who's not voting for left or right in most cases. We're going to vote for the truth. And that's what they're playing with. That's how they got these last votes, because they know truth seekers seek the truth. And when we seek the truth, we don't care who's who. We just want the water broke. We want the ice broken. We want the veil unveiled. But now they're using all of that against us. And they know our sensation and appetite for the truth is what happens. And those are the things that they try to do. But we're gonna sidestep that, because when I talk about them, that they're this conspiracy where they're sedating us, and they know voters is going to have a sensational appetite once again to chase for that get them something to wait for. Okay, now we're just gonna wait. We're gonna wait until he get in office. We're just gonna wait, And so as Vance is the face, and they starting that right now, this is where we're going with this conversation tonight. If he's gonna be the new face of the chase, okay, I just rhyme. Who's actually writing that script? I guarantee you we're going to dig deeper, and I'm going to go into that a little bit just from the outside, but somebody else is writing that script. Someone else is writing that script. If he's going to be the new face, that's what it's set up for. That's the highest ranking person next to the president, which we know who don't control any of that stuff either, has now said that the UFO files is his biggest priority, and he's going to start digging into it after August. What happens after August? Is the midterms? I don't know. Something is going on politically, but that he threw it out there. So he's going to be the new face. Guarantee you, he's the new face. And watch what happens. And you're going to see. You're going to see that they're going to play games, and they're going to play it to the T. So, and if you thought that was strange, let me tell you what they're really doing when they say they want to see the files. They're rerouting the outrage right now. That's what they're trying to do. The word files, all of that stuff is symbolism of what they're trying to get people to look at other files. They know what the files that people are focusing on. So now we're going to say another files, because we know we can't believe the current person. If he came out and said it, ain't nobody believing that now, even his own peeps. You get what I'm saying? So they got to throw another bomb another way. You talk about Arrow, a domain anomaly resolution office. They handle public facing files, and they tightly filtered by the DOD. And so he can't do anything about that. All right. Claims of no credible evidence of non-human technology has always been coming out of Arrow and the rest of them. So what is he going to say different? They already been saying that. You get what I'm saying? Like it's a new game. And then you talking control leaks. These things ain't controlled. These things are pre-approved theater. This was pre-approved. Whatever this just happened was pre-approved, plain and simple. They approved it and said, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to say. And bam. And all of a sudden it worked a little bit. I'm talking about it. You listening about it. Some of y'all going to Google about it. So is it working? Probably so. I would think so. But let me give you some of the players. We already know Lou Elizondo, former ATIP agent who left the disclosure secret, still no footage or clear data. He got books out, he got everything else, and you still ain't seeing nothing. And if you talk to him, he gonna tell you that he had to get the book that everybody bought for the truth and secrets pre-approved. He honestly told y'all that. Hey, the book need to be pre-approved before he could release a book about the secrets of the UFO stuff. And then everybody bought it because you think you finna hear the truth. and he had to get it pre-approved. He said it. He didn't hide that. He couldn't. That's disclosure. That's real disclosure. But everybody bought it because you thought we finna read something new. Okay, maybe it was something new that you haven't heard of that was declassified or it didn't mean sugar honey iced tea. However, this is how they roll. This is how they roll. And since he's been whistleblowing, we still ain't seen nothing new. Nothing. And as y'all know, I am on my 30-day liquid juicing diet. So this is watermelon juice. That's some good stuff. All right. So that's my point. David Grush, that's the next one. He's another key player. He testified all day long about crash retrievals under oath. And what happened? Not a dang on thing. Not a thing. People positioned themselves. They wore that man out, having him have all kind of whatever headaches and you name it. And whoever talked him into it, that's fine. He thought he was going to do whatever. Now they just pushing him under the rug. But we bought it hook, line, and sinker. And they think we finna buy it again. We finna buy it again. This time we got a high-ranking official. He's the vice president. Dude, he's going to use that to run for president. He's going to do that for run for president, and that's how they're going to roll it. So if you start thinking about all of these, I call it emotional manipulation tactic. Yeah, let's use that EMT. You know, they use EMPs. We can call it EMP, EMT. That's all they do. When a high-ranking individual promise a truth-seeking mission, that is probably the biggest wag the dog that you will ever run across when it comes down to it, because you're not gonna get anywhere, folks. Okay, let me back up. He can do it. He can definitely do it. And he can do it. And I think at the end of the day, it's just not going to go anywhere. I know it's not going to go anywhere. He can say it all day long. He's just not going to go anywhere. It's just not going to happen. Period. Point blank. However, the next part is where most people mess it up, because they believe interest, then investigation, but it doesn't. Interest, investigation is not the same thing. Just because he's interested in the UFO files does not mean there's an investigation going to happen. But how many people are going to fall into that? How many people? I'm going to play the clip again. Just listen to what he says. He's just talking about a personal thing. It ain't got nothing to do with government. Ain't got nothing to do with the people.
There are stories that I am particularly focused on, in part just because you talk with your buddies about it. Like, I'm obsessed with the whole UFO thing. What's actually going on? What were those videos all about? What's actually happening? I haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but we're only 6 months in. We've been very busy. That's actually the August recess is in part me going to try to dive to the bottom of the whole UFO thing from last year. So
I mean, you got to have us back.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Did y'all see that right now? Did y'all see that right now? Did y'all see that right now? All right. He said he has the Book of Anarchy folder. Yes, read the PDF. Okay. I'm glad you saw it, because I didn't. All right. So let y'all know, Dr. Strange is part of our inner group. He has access to the files, and that was the whole point. I needed more people to get access to them so we can find stuff together. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Appreciate it, brother. I'll check it out. Because as we use this a collective, you got 20,000 this, 20,000 audios, 5,000 videos. There's no way that I could find stuff, but right there, that's what I'm talking about. This is why we did that, making sure people, and he got the blue thing just like I do. So again, appreciate it 100%. And I'm gonna look it up tonight. And he said, "Oh, I'm funded." Look, he said he find a whole lot of stuff right now. Yeah, it's a lot. A lot of people confuse it sometimes because they think they see some regular stuff, but it's a value of everything. It's a lot of stuff in these files, and it is just crazy. to kind of look at that and pretty much from there. All I can say is let me just continue to go around the way with what we're doing. All right, so again, let's keep going down this not just a rabbit hole. And he's talked about this, folks. So when y'all see him put a chat up, he has access to this. Sandra got access to it. A couple of more people got access to it this past week. We're going to have a whole collection of team of people that's going to know some crazy stuff. And like I said, I'm going to stop offering it out, anyway. So this is going to be a dead deal. But anyway, celebrities. Let's keep going. Celebrities and culture controllers. This is where this thing shifts to. Because if you start thinking about it, there was a lot of posts back in 2019. If you remember, multiple celebrities promoted UFO docs. Demi Lovato, she was really deep in that. Tom DeLonge, they all was also backing certain politicians. And it was like, it was something that they all put together. Every 2, 3, 6 months, watch it right now, new NASA emissions or a new Powell report, new Pentagon whistleblower, all this stuff is orchestrated. It is orchestrated to the letter because it is somebody writing a script. And this script is being played like a theater, and we are buying the admission tickets. We're standing in a line. We're buying those tickets one by one. In fact, we're buying 2-fers and 3-fers and taking our family and friends to the show and ain't seeing nothing. And ain't seeing nothing because they ain't the one who's in control. They're not the one who's in control. That's the problem. It's an illusion. And all of this stuff is an illusion, right? And so therefore, they're not the one in control. And that's what's happening. So when you see it again, J D Vance says he's going to look into, and like I said, pay close attention. Pay close attention to what I'm saying, because it is getting ready to build itself up, and that's what's going to happen, and you just got to look into it. You got to look into it, and let me turn this off. So pay attention. Watch, we're going to call it as a collective group, right? We're going to call it right now. Because again, nothing ever concludes. This thing never comes to conclusions because it's not supposed to. That's the bottom line. This is what I'm going to tell you right now. This is where I'm going to get isolated from some of my comrades. The reason we're not going to have the disclosure that we think we want, they're going to give us micro bits because it's not supposed to. That's it. That is, if you start looking deeper into the whole circle, we ain't supposed to know all of it. But yeah, we can get a little something. We can't miss if it's flying around. We can't miss that somebody came forward and said they worked on a project at a job that they had, even though they ain't telling you what they worked on. They just worked there. But you really want the inside stuff? We're not supposed to. And so that's why it's never going to happen that way. It's just plain and simple. It's not supposed to. And we're just going to keep pushing that down the road. And that's it. All right, so we got a few people watching, as Roderick says. Roderick and Roderick here, R&R, like Rolls Royce. Make sure y'all hit the like button and everything else. So let's do it. All right, so the other part is the longer they keep you watching the sky, I've said that before, the less likely you are to see what's happening beneath your feet. I'm starting to tell you that's what's going on. I said it in another show. And I said it in a video clip I just put up. Go watch it. They're guiding us looking at the sky. And what's really happening is not up there. It ain't coming from up there. It's interdimensional and it's underground. And it is also in here, the mind. So they got us focusing on this illusion. And then we just keep building up on it because we all want infinite consciousness. So we just keep adding to, all of us is adding to the movie, but it's something else. And we're looking in the wrong direction. I'm not saying that there's not some things and places and stuff that don't belong here, but I'm saying what they got us focused on. Now everybody's got the conversation of Momoa Noor, that it's coming. Now, we already said that. I told y'all that 2-3 years ago when that thing came in and went back. It was, and if you look up the Hawaiian name of Muamua, it means scout. Whatever it was, found Earth. And it went back to go tell where it came from. They are here, and now you're getting reports that something is coming. And that's okay. I said it 2 years ago. When everybody said, oh, it's not really what it was, Roderick, blah, blah. No, dude. That thing came around our atmosphere in a controlled fashion and went back faster than it got here. Who did that? Slingshot? Gravity? No, it was in a controlled instrument. And now, and you think the James Webb satellite spotting this thing, it is a huge space out there. A big space out there. Very big space out there. Okay? And so you better believe they knew exactly where to point that satellite. You don't get that lucky. We ain't that lucky. It's a big space. The thing is going in a direction. It ain't seeing what's behind it. It's spotting things that's coming. They already knew. And what that is, who knows? And what's going to happen, who knows? But it's all over now. They're talking about it. But they mentioned this a long time ago. So, and I'm doing a little sidetrack here. They mentioned it a long time ago that in 2025, 2026, something was supposed to pop up in the UFO space. Stephen Greer talked about it. A lot of people talked about it. So now maybe it's just running behind. But whatever that story is picking up steam. And okay, maybe it come in peace. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's 300 years away, and maybe it's 2 weeks away, which is not. So I'm gonna let me pass that in. It's not 2 weeks away, because if that's the case, you wouldn't be paying your credit card bills next month. Nobody will. Be like, no, I ain't paying nothing. All right. So, but anyway, if this is the true error and something really exists, I'm saying we need to see the bodies, right? It's time for us to see the bodies, the footage, the briefings. And, we need to see all of this stuff now. This is where disclosure really begins to transpire itself or begin to show its expressive side. We should be seeing the bodies by now. By now, we should be seeing the actual real footage. By now, we should be, the briefings. It should be a controlled release of information. And so that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. All right. So is there a real agenda? You better believe it is. There is a real agenda. Now, I go to the little left, to the right, both ways, but it is a real agenda. And that real agenda, it could be something that had already been planned, and it could be the final card they're about to play. And you fit to hear me say it. I'm not a conspiracy person, but I am. Right? But you fit to hear me say it. Project Bluebeam, baby. It's coming into fruition. That's what they're getting ready to do. This is the final card. President Vance is going to be looking into the files. He's going to make a discovery. He's going to run re-election on protection that we got something coming. He needs to look deep. All right. They're already saying something is coming. And Project Bluebeam. I'm telling you, Project Bluebeam. That's what it is. They finna play the card. And that moves them into one world order, one monotheistic God, the new world, the whole 9 years. It gets the playbook going. One world government, all of this stuff. It begins to build the foundation. One currency, when they can control the money flow. They're working on all of this. One food provider who is going to own all the seeds. One chicken provider. One beef provider. Oh, they wanting us out. They are wanting us out. But we can fight back, though. And that is, like I'm wearing my shirt, non-compliant, baby. See, when I get talking to this deep stuff, I always put on my protection gear. I'm protected all over so that I go deep. But I'm telling you, that's what they're doing. And I'm telling you this, if trust is in politics fails, and if another election breaks public confidence, and then you're talking about a unified or external threat, is going to be the new tool. Because see, people not trusting what we have right now. They're not trusting none of this. It's breaking up, and they know it. So they got to come back. How do they bring it back? They got to bring a unified threat. They have to. Reagan said it years ago. So it begins. But they're thinking long term, if y'all feel me. So this is why I'm using and talking about this J D Vance stuff, because it's long term play. He's already, okay, he's the vice president. He's going to run for president. The other one can't run anymore unless he wins and step down and he's his president, vice president. You already heard that caper. They already said that could be the plan, is that J D Vance runs for president, our current president becomes his vice president, and then he steps down, and then he becomes president again. I don't even know if that's possible. But gee, what a workaround. But besides that, though, we're talking about Project Bluebeam, and we're talking about the setup for it, and then have the president in place to be the person to do it. He's smart. J D Vance is a smart cookie. I'll be sitting there too telling everybody, hey, man, I got to. And like I said, I'm going to play the video again because you got to listen to his words. He's not making it policy. He's not making it policy. He's making it curiosity, and people are going to confuse curiosity with policy or an investigation. Just listen to it.
There are stories that I am particularly focused on, in part just because you talk with your buddies about it. Like, I'm obsessed with the whole UFO thing. What's actually going on? What were those videos all about? What's actually happening? I haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but we're only 6 months in. We've been very busy. That's actually.
Now, could you imagine if you replace the word UFO files with Epstein, and he did years ago when he was when he didn't like he wasn't for Donald Trump? Could you just replace JFK with UFOs? Could you replace MLK with UFO? You get what I'm saying? The line is the same. Oh, I'm looking down a pipeline. I talk to my buddies. Really? Really? And you want to say that on TV? Ain't none of us your buddies? And then people are going to vote. I'm telling y'all, it's the setup for Project Bluebeam. And we got something coming. You get it? Now the next person in line saying he's going to go for the truth. It's just a setup. It's just a setup. And the next thing won't be and let me put it this way. We're going to go from UFOs, is what they're going to do. And you heard me say it. Okay, so I'm going to lay it out right now. I want y'all to hear. We're going to go from UFOs to a new religion, plain and simple, to new surveillance justifications, and then it's going to be a new authoritarian government. That's it. One order. UFOs, because it has to be something bigger than we don't fear anything else on the ground, and we're not fearing the demonic side because you have Christ, right? It's got to be something from way up there that they can bring everybody in to make this unified deal. That's what they're going to do. And that's what you got to be careful with. And the next war won't be between countries. It's not going to happen that way. It's going to be between realities. They're going to mess with the mind. They're going to come for the mind. Ain't got nothing to do with it. We're seeing what's happening all over there. That's the smoke streams. That's fine. We get it. But they're going to come with the mind because that's what they're after. And that's what I always tell you. Your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. That's what they want. Long as they can block your mind, they can distort the mind, you're going to believe what you see. And what you see may not be the truth. In most cases, it's not. But they're going to do it. And that's how they're going to do it. And let me back up. They're not just, man, anyway, it just makes you funny. when you see the stupid stuff that they try to pull off. So let's talk about a little bit about UFO disclosure as a spiritual weapon, because this ties into this thing. It's very important that we dippily dap down this road a little bit. It really does. Because everything we done unpacked so far leads to this. It just really is. The UFO lie, like I said on the thumbnail, may not just be political. It could be existential. I really believe that. I really believe. I've been doing this for quite some time. If you did know and you want to go look it up, let me just give you my pedigree so that you know that I'm just not talking outside of my neck. I've been in 11 different TV shows, all about UFOs. I've been featured on Ancient Aliens about UFOs. I've been on Gaia. I'm actually a Gaia brand ambassador about UFOs. History Channel, Discovery Channel. George Norrie flew me in to talk to me about UFOs. Regina Meredith brought me up there to talk about UFOs. Fox Tubi brought me and put me on one of their show to talk about UFOs. And the list goes on. Billy Carson put me in his channel to talk about UFOs. And I always still get people all the time. He don't know this, he ain't that, and I don't even care. And they don't even have half the pedigree to talk about UFOs. All right, I know there's some new stuff. Oh yeah, okay, I may have my grammar box, or I may got my spelling box, but I bet you I can pronounce UFO, UFO. And it doesn't stand for that. You know, I say UFO stands for unidentified female operative. Who knows? We can make up our own terms. But if you start looking up Springmeyer, David Icke, go look at it. Alien mythology often overlaps with occult programming and symbols. Go see, the reptilian connection or astral contracts. Go look at all this stuff. It overlaps. There's something about this script. Go look it up. In fact, Jordan Maxwell talks about what they're doing. I always play the clip. It's my favorite clip because it's all about truth versus authority. Let me play it.
Harmony. I think we're being set up for something very serious and very big by some very powerful secret societies that very well could have extraterrestrial or otherworld intelligence guiding it. All over the world, we have accepted the authority as truth rather than truth as the authority.
All right, so there you have it. You know the name of the channel. The name of the channel is Truth versus Authority. We are the rebellion. It's time for everybody to understand that this is where we are. This is why this thing is. We should eventually be bigger than this because we're going against the grain. Yeah, I give you logical conversations. I give you a lot of whys on purpose because it's up to you to take what I said or whatever, just to awaken your curiosity to the possibility. Everybody speaks nuts and bolts. They all do. They all want to tell you about the ray guns, or they want to tell you about, whatever. I understand it. I'm not the best at the conscious knowledge of that. But I'm going to keep it real with you, though. I'm going to keep a conversation with you as though we was chums, buddies, homies, or fam, or whatever. I'm going to keep it where you're going to have a conversation with the water cooler people. You ain't got to go and have no double doctorate to know what they're doing is Project Bluebeam. All in the making. You ain't got to go do that. You ain't got to do it. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to do it. You just have to keep your mind open so that your eyes can see. And the word alien, probably the way I'm going down this channel and the way I'm studying, the way I'm understanding, the word alien is really the new God, delivered by state-sponsored messengers. These people are messengers, man. They're doing what they do, and we have to really get a better understanding. So when you start seeing it again, if you just joined us, J D Vance, our vice president, made a comment. It's all on the news that he's getting ready to start looking. Well, not an investigation. It's just that him and his buddies have conversations about what's in those files. And he's saying, oh, we've been very busy the last 6 months. He ain't got nothing. He don't have nothing. He's lost in a shovel. He has no mission. He's not over on another country. He ain't changing policy. He ain't got nothing to be known for. And so therefore, the most logical thing is for him to tap into our base, because he can say whatever and he ain't gonna prove nothing. And it makes me a little, you know, because they're just playing a game. They're playing a game. And they've been playing this game for a long time. A long time. A very long time. And I believe, or I know, Vance's words could serve as a deeper initiation process. I'm telling you, pay close attention and watch this for the next year and see what happens. Not curiosity, people, but a ritualized permission. You heard me say it. This thing is a setup for a new ritualized permission of the mind. And this is what they're doing. Because there's no way in God's name today, out of all what's going on out there, he want to open his mouth and say, oh, now that the thing is over in August, I'm going to look into the UFO files. That is so far out left field. They didn't have nothing else. Now, believe me, if the current president said it, everybody would have been like, dude, whatever, get the Epstein files up first. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He could do it. He'd be like, nah, ain't nobody believing nothing. It'd be like, don't believe in Bernard. Remember, like in the movie Shame, where he like, don't believe in Bernard, don't believe him. You know, ain't nobody believing nothing. If he come out and said, it'd be like, no, what? You know, and in fact, all of us be walking around if he said,
now, that was some strange shit right there.
All of us will be saying that. All of us. All of us will be saying it. Because that's where they're going with it. Yep. It's a psyops. Omnipotent right there says government psyops, psychological operations or operations to convey selected information and indicators to the audience to influence their motives. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. This is why your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. This is why I'm doing my stillness training with a set, which we'll talk about at the end of the show, give you where we're going. You get what I'm saying? Because you got to still the mind, the voices, and not just voices, but the images, because it's all about mental movies. And he just said it right there. Government PSYOP, psychological operations PSYOP, or operation to convey selected, information and indicators to audiences to influence their motive. Plain and simple. As Jen says, looks like another distraction. Absolutely. 100%. If y'all have not hit the like button, please go ahead and slap that like button right now. Just smash that bad boy. It doesn't cost anything, or pretty much. Now, listen to this, though. This is how good it's getting ready to get. They don't have to land a ship on this one. They don't need to land a ship. See, I've always used to thought, what are we going to do when the ship lands on the White House lawn, right? We've seen the movies. They're better than that now. They don't have to land no ship. They just need to program our subconscious minds and for us to expect one. They don't have to land a ship. Just put the subconscious thoughts out there like something is coming and get it in our minds that something is coming. And I guarantee you, I guarantee you, and I'm going to put $5 on this. 3 years from now, 2 years from now, when he runs for president, he's going to run that he made a discovery and we need to come together. And now we got an existential threat. Same thing Reagan said. Same thing that Reagan said. I promise you. So yes, prepare yourselves. Because this was getting ready to be a good one. I'm telling you, because when it came out left field, all I can do was sit there and go, am I, you know, I make my own movie expression clips. So when I heard him say that, I sat there like,
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, what?
I mean, that was exactly the expression on my face.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, what?
Like, he's getting ready to do what? Explore the files. That was my exact expression. Like, what? Where'd this come from? Yeah. So, yeah, they got it like breaking news. You're right. Yeah, there's all over the place. Breaking news. Oh, what? I'm telling you, this is why we exist, people. Our community is why we exist. And I'm going to say it again. I know it ticks some people off, but his words is a deeper initiation. That's all it is. And it's set up to program your subconscious mind. Don't fall for it, because it takes us to the 2028 election. It's taking us to what they're going to say about this election. This is predicted programming for a whole nother rig cycle. This is all it is. And I know people might be sitting here going, Roderick, why are you putting so much emphasis on it? Because they can't use nothing else out there that will unify the truth seekers. Because we know everything else is a lie. We don't believe when they stand up at the podium and they're going to change homelessness. We don't believe that. We don't believe that when they say that they're going to, lower whatever, so we pay less in this, and we don't believe it anyway. So we don't go out and vote for that. And there's millions of us as truth seekers. In fact, we probably is the swing votes in some cases. I don't know. And I'm not just saying us. We're talking QAnon. You're talking all of the worst of the worst. We all come together when it comes to the UFO and the Epstein files and stuff like that. We all come together. It ain't no political party for that. That's why they ticked off now. So they said, well, how do we get them back? Because the Epstein files lost everybody. How do we get them back? Well, the one thing that they all want is UFO stuff. All of them do. And our current man can't say it. So, and I'm going to be up running next in a few years. I might as well start campaigning now and building trust. See, but where it's going to backfire, somebody's going to be smart enough to say, well, how come Donald Trump don't do it? And then he'll have to answer the question. But he already answered it. He answered it by his statement of what he said. And I'm going to play it for the last time. Why Donald Trump is not going to do it and why they're not going to clash over it? Because of this statement right here.
There are stories that I am particularly focused on, in part just because you talk with your buddies about it. Like
See, there are stories that I'm particularly focused on. Dude, you the president, vice president. Focus on Epstein stuff. You ain't trying to help us get that. But there are stories. Now, he could have been more specific and said what stories. What do you know that we don't know? What story? Because you ain't focusing on Roswell. You're not focused on what David Grush said. You're sure enough not focused on what Lou Elizondo said. Nothing. What stories are you focused on? See, that's what I would have asked to do. The dude let him off the hook, period. Because they're buddies, they're chums. Oh, hopefully you're going to come back. And do what? Tell us something? I'm telling you, it makes me upset because that's the one thing that they use to wag the dog in our community. The one thing. That's the one thing. Yep, George Orwell, 1984. I got that book in there, red book with the eye on it. And one thing in that quote of that George Orwell, 1984 says, he don't know. He said he always know what they're doing. He said the answer is why. We got to look into why. He said that in his book. And so when you start thinking about the public trust is being gamified right now, Vance is getting ready to play the good cop, making promises that he'll never deliver, and so that the audience learns to stop expecting the truth. That's what it is. The audience is going to stop expecting the truth. He's getting ready to play good cop. He has to. Watch it pick up steam. I'm telling you, I know y'all might think I'm just putting it out there. Watch how this pick up steam at the same time that something is coming, at the same time that all of this changing. Watch how this picks up steam. They just threw a filler out there. It's what they did. And do you know it's in all these different articles, videos? I'm talking about it. You listening, you're going to talk about it. I think it worked. Because this is going to kill the belief of the whistleblowers and whistleblowers right there. He's going to shut all that down. This softens us for a scripted spiritual warfare disguised at disclosure. You heard me say it. This is going to soften our community and other people for a scripted, you hear me? Spiritual warfare is what they're doing. They're getting ready to soften the blow for a scripted spiritual warfare. And they're going to disguise it as disclosure. They don't have no other choice. They ran out of plays. Or they're just playing another card in the playbook. It's going to be another card in the playbook. Quote me on that. Post it, clip it, put it on Facebook. What I just said. I'm telling you. This is why we moved into symbolism. This is why we have taken our show to another level of thought. Not just aliens. We got to move it up. We got to take it up a notch to just not consciousness. We're talking way deep into the mind, the I, as I'm learning, the self, the truth. We got to take it to the truth. We got to take it to the truth. And so there's something we can do. All right. And I'm not going to just not give us something. We just don't need to settle for these puppet shows. We can demand Pacific Arrow logs, timestamp it, reflect. We can do all that. We can stop believing the promises. We need somebody right now putting together to track actions only. We need to, when they make a statement, we need to put a log and say, did anything happen? No, and watch all them no's go down. We can share old UFO stuff. That's what I wanted to do when we do our meetups and just meet and greet. We can start sharing experiences, start inviting people to this thing. We're going to bring a little camera. We'll sit down. I'm going to try to put a little area where I can, tape some experiences. People can watch. This thing is going to be multi-menu. Let me put my grammar box up. Yeah. I'm going to break it into 2 words. Moment or monument, mental. I don't know, baby. God, it's a tongue twist today. All right. Anyway, y'all know if you understood it, you don't have to have the ego and tell me how to pronounce it because your mind understood what I was trying to say. G. All right. But you got it though, right? Mm-hmm. So when we meet, August the 23rd, it's going to be indoors this time. I'll start putting the website up, truthseekersmeet.com. The domain has been bought. And you can come out. I'm trying to sign up for a text service where you can type meet up to a keyword, to a number, and get on the list. And like I said, we're going to have a great time. We got people flying in, truth seekers in this audience flying down. Y'all can get to meet each other, have a good time, sit around. Then we'll get some sound stillness in you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a meet and greet, but we'll have a little session for it. And then you get to do some stuff. You know what I'm saying? It'll activate some things for you, but it is time. And at one point, it's something that I've been talking about doing for quite some time. And we're going to do it every month, though. So if you don't miss this one, come to the next one. Every 3rd Saturday. We're just going to keep going till it grow. we're going to do it. So I just want you to know, I'm not here to believe. I'm here to name the pattern for you. That's my job. My job is to give you the patterns, but you need to go the extra mile yourself. I just want to give you the patterns. That's my job. They're not uncovering secrets. He ain't finna go and uncover no secrets for us. They're just feeding us the next illusion. That's all he's doing. He's just getting ready to feed us the next illusion. And if you don't see it now, you might as well say you've already been abducted. By the narrative, I should say, not by aliens. That's how I want to conclude that for you. That's how I want to conclude it. And so, all right, there you go. Judah put it on the screen. That's fine. That word right there. I know, monumental. There you go. We're just going to break that down. But y'all got it, though. But if you heard it, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all mind got it. You got it. So, as y'all know, so for those of you who are in here, I'm gonna we're about done with the conversation, but I'm gonna give you an update. As y'all know, I started on a important journey in my life. I'm gonna, it's the stillness, a 30-day juicing. Today I got an enormous headache, but it's not from it's from the what is it? We can detoxify, right? Or whatever, right? The or whatever. And it's like blowing me up, even when I'm talking. But I know what it's about. My body's detoxifying. The parasites are upset. I heard them screaming today. Oh, they were screaming. I heard them down in my gut. They was going bad. But just to kind of let you know, and I mentioned it the other day to the community, how being accountable and everything else. And man, y'all showed up. There's some of you all showed up for me. Y'all really did. But just let you know it's real. And it's really real. And let me play you my setup right now. So like I said, if you're done, y'all can go ahead and go, but this is going to take a few minutes. But let me add my little video to the stage here. All right, truth seekers. Like I said, I'm starting the 30-day juicing diet. As you know, I'm doing it. And so this is the first day, or I start in the morning, which is Sunday, August the 3rd. And I just want to shoot this video for you all to see just the setup, just to begin the process so that you would know what ISAT has helped me with. And I'm just going to scan through some of this stuff. So take a look. What you see right here is just some of the juicing that we're already doing to get ready. So for example, this is what she called All Age You, which is a tonic. Horseradish, onion, lime, garlic, ginger, turmeric, gouda, or whatever, and some other stuff. Now this I will probably take a little bit each day. And so what I did, I bought these 1-ounce bottles, and this way when I take it to work, to the office, I'll have it. So this will be I have 2 of these, and basically I'll drink half of these every 4 hours just to kind of add in. Now we got some activated charcoal water, so this will be the first 3 days. So I'll divide this up 3, so I'm gonna put some in here. But more likely this drink before I go to the office. We got the sea moss. Now what you see over here is juicing my meals. So this is gonna be the green meals, and then this is fruit, strawberries, and berries. So I'll have 4 of these every day. Now this is only 3 meals. So I did this myself, and all of this is just add on to these. Now this is a watermelon. I took her a watermelon, and a big watermelon made 11 32 ounce, which is watermelon juice with the hull, everything, the seeds, everything grounded up in here. Man, this stuff is so good. I tried one today and drank it. So I can drink this throughout the week and just different days, as add-ons. So I'll constantly be taking liquid. Now, we have aloe, which I'll take this through at some point. This here is all for my digestive aid. This is cascara or whatever. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but anyway, that'll be in there. So this is moringa. So that'll be part of my daily regimen. Over here will be cactus water. So I will drink this throughout the day and then refill it with new water. So I have 4 or 5 of these to switch out throughout the week, as I do this. And then of course, plenty of what we call green juice, which is going to be drink one of these every day throughout the day on top of my 4 meals. So I'm really not going to go hungry. And then, like I said, she made some great sea moss with flax seeds and all this stuff in it, just really from a great place. And this is 2 meals. So I ran out of these, and so I can take this to the office and drink half of it and half of it, or basically this would be a whole daily thing. Now, while I'm doing that, I'll be wearing these copper bracelets that she's made, and this is I Am Victorious. My favorite, which is a custom one made for me, is Luminous, and I'll have some of these on our website, but it's copper, so you know that what copper does. And pretty much this one is Mind Be Still, so it'll be Mind Be Still. But anyway, all of this, if you think about it, some stuff will last a whole month. This only 4 days, so I'll do this every 3 days. I'll do this every 3 days on my end to add. So all of this is the other stuff, and so you're talking digestive support. We're talking, digestive support. Stuff for inflammation, circulation, all of the different things, then ailments and everything else. And so I'm totally dedicated, and this is going to be 30 days. So you can just see this is just the beginning process, but the commitment that it's going to take. But the most important is the cause and the support that I was getting, even from a person in our group. And, I have a contract that I signed, and she was like, listen, read the contract to me. We did a FaceTime. Find me, Roderick Martin.
I believe in you.
Thank you so much. And for that, I am. And at the end of it, she just says, I believe in you. And it was so powerful. Not just hearing this, but as a friend, but, as a man, listening to I believe in you, because that's all we need, right? We're very simple, but just the whole power. And then my other support group and people calling and everything else, and people saying, hey, we're going to do it with you. And so this is life-changing. This is really life-changing. So I just want y'all to know this is day 1. And so, you'll probably see this on Monday, which is the day after. But each evening, I'm going to give you an update how I'm feeling. I have my little journals and stuff that I'll take. But anyway, this is it. This is the beginning of getting silent in the mind. This is all about silencing the mind. In other words, stillness is what she teaches, and finding the true self, getting rid of the ego, and then at the same time the I, finding the true I within yourself, and silencing all of those voices, because we're really not just in this program, but we're playing all these parts. And so take yourself out of those parts so that you can see, or really just get into stillness and just get out of this body for stillness and stuff. So, and I could be butchering that right now because I'm learning it, but you get the point. And of course she'll be on our meetup, and when we do it, we did sound bowls, I do affirmations, and I'm all in it. So again, I love you guys. Thank you. And I can't wait to get on the end of these 30 days to begin the next 30 days. But just so that I can do it because of you. is why I'm doing it. Talk to y'all later. All right. So today, there you go. So my goal is to get a little more finer, so next year be a little even, just be Mr. Sexy, right? You know what I'm saying? I may go back with my bald. I used to wear a bald and just whatever, but now just get, some of the weight off, especially around the midsections and all of that, because I want to get out, start doing speaking more and symbolism conferences we're going to be doing. So it's time to be not just mobile, but better at it. So today is into the second day. Now I had already prepared myself for this. Judith and I did a cleansing for about a week or so a few months back, but I kept with the regimen. And what you see in that green drink is not juicing, really. It's just that I took kale, avocado, celery, lettuce, and cucumbers, and I put it in a food processor and chopped it up real fine pieces because I needed to be really thick. And then I added my coconut water. So I just kind of drink it, but it's real thick. The stuff is thick. It's like a meal, but it's getting me the green stuff. So doing this, except for some of the bitterness and some of the stuff is really bitter, that is pretty good. So I know I was going to have headaches and all that, but this really hit really fast. The detoxing, because she gave me some stuff that is just, so I figured about another 3 or 4 days, get over that and everything else. The preparation part made it real simple because everything is already prepped out, and she did all of that. And then with the meals and every 4 hours and then between drinking and all of those things. And probably about the only most sugar is probably the watermelon juice, but oh my God, it fills in really good stuff. And then of course that, the papayas and stuff, does that. But anyway, I'm going to change that infinite consciousness and awareness of how people see me. Right. But also for myself. And so it's not the most difficult thing, but to put it out there like this, my business and telling everyone and yeah, maybe the day I come here and say, oh guys, it's too hard. Maybe that's when 50 people say, no, keep going. Or one person say, keep going. And one person said that they did it, or they need the inspiration, and then I can pull from that. But in the meantime, I have the inspiration because of just things from there. And I'm going to keep doing it and just continue this on down. And so used to that a pig or a cow to get past my office so that I wouldn't eat them, they would have to dress up like a vegetable. They'll put on a vegetable suit. And I'm like, is that a real vegetable? And they can sneak by. But now they can't do that. Well, I ain't going to eat them anyway now, but, because I'm going meatless for 30 days. And then we'll come back and incorporate some of the stuff. But right now, it's just to reset the body and detox. And so that's the main phase of this. And like I said, yeah, and I'm excited for it and pretty much. And so I'm going to talk to my doctor next week. I'm going to see if they let me bring my camera in and tape what they're seeing, how I am then. And then when I come back, let them say, oh, your vitals has changed or whatever. Keep doing what you're doing. We're going to take it all there. But once again, she's there to help any and all of you. If you're willing to buy your own stuff, if you're out of state, she's willing to help you. She's not, it's not, this is her mission. It's not a price for that. The only contract I signed with her was the contract for myself to stay committed that she gave me, that this is your contract to you, to yourself. And I signed it. And of course, as you see, Tracy was there like, hey, she was busy. And then she was like, hey, listen, call me in 30 minutes. I want to give you undivided attention and read that to me. And I want you to know, FaceTime me so I can tell you, I believe you. And it was really powerful. And so one day I'll do that for someone else. Yeah. Take the activated charcoal. I'm doing that for 3 days. And so tomorrow's the third day for the charcoal. and then I'll stop it. And I don't know when we're going to infuse that again. But yeah, activated charcoal. Yeah, that was some of the stuff. She knows her stuff. And like I said, the only thing now is just not so much of just the headache of the detox and stuff, which I already expected that. I've been done that before in the past, so I already knew I'm full of toxins and everything. Right now, just the parasites, they're mad. You know, I can tell they're arguing and everything else, and pretty much. So, and then I'm wearing, like I said, the copper. I actually got 4 of them, but these are really cool. There's real thick copper, and of course you want 2. And I'm gonna have her to make the luminous one for us, and then another one to put on the websites. But I got 4 different ones, and so this, yeah, oh yeah, I got to get some sleep. That's the problem right now, is that I'm usually up 3 o'clock in the morning, Starlight, and so yeah, and so tonight I'll try to get to bed. I tried to get to bed early last night about 1-something, and I really couldn't sleep because I'm usually up, because now I got to get up in the morning at 5. Well, I get up at 7-6 where I'm doing meditation, sound meditation and stillness meditation 3 or 4 times during the day. I'm gonna do one right after this show, and so that's also the sleep is, and so hopefully in about a week I can be adjusted to be in the bed by noon, midnight or something, right? And so so that, that's, it's it. And of course with my schedule, I sleep on demand anyway. So if I get tired here at the office, I can just go over to my little laser board right there and go, so I can sleep on demand. But right now I'm up pretty late and pretty much. And so, and again, thank you for the ones who called, who's saying that, being accountability and emails and then, just really, I really do. It's in my, not just my gratitude book, but I have written you all in my gratitude book just to know that you have friends and loving people like I have with this community. And that's one of her dreams, is to build a community where people just helping each other. She was just like, maybe somebody needed their house clean, or maybe everybody just go over there and clean up this person's house, or just whatever, or maybe we just all need to cook, and maybe somebody don't have it this week. That's just her heart and where she is. And so I support that mission 100%, because that day that you saw that doing the sound thing, I just asked her, why are you helping me? And when she gave me her true reason, and then I was like, I'll share it with the audience. She was like, no, I'm just doing whatever, So yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. All right. So with that being said, we will be back. I'll be on Forbidden Knowledge tomorrow at 8 p.m. And then I'll try to come over here about 8:30 or 9. And I'm going to try to put together a 2-part show. So we'll be on that. And then we'll be back Wednesday and Thursday. And then after that, you guys in for a ride. And even she's going to start teaching certain things. I'm going to ask her to, because some stuff she cannot say out loud. She can't give all this advice, and that. But she's willing to give a lot of the deeper information in our uncensored area, which is probably right off the bat good too, and pretty much. So I think it's it's all good. Anybody got any questions before we go? Anything? Anyone? Bueller? Anybody got something? Anybody? No? All right. So with that being said, I'll see y'all, and thank all of you who got in this. So we're going to officially close this out. I'll check my emails for any last emails that that has already sent, that won't get into the study thing of what we're doing. As you know, this thing alone is $100 and some bucks, and this is the one you got to get, because I requested that for you, because it's protected, it's shielded, it's waterproof, it's all those things, and I don't want anything other than that, because I know how important this is, and archive it. And again, when you sift through it, you're gonna, it's just, think of it as if the world was to start over, that you have a collection of all the top minds in here and stuff that you wouldn't find anywhere else. And Dr. Strange, a lot of them, like you just heard him put up earlier, he found some stuff, and that's what we wanted. I wanted people to find things, because one person can't find it. It's just too much information and share. Look, he said this is his favorite new toy. And we would do that. Okay. All right. Well, Mars, you good? You sent me an email about it. I didn't get one, L. Crouch, if you did. Well, anyway, the email is, I'll put it on the screen for you, so make sure you send it, but I'm going to close that out. But if you sent me an email, it will be right there. Okay. contact@whythebigsecret.com. Just remember, again, this alone is $100 some. You're going to have to buy that first, and then the contribution is a little more, but I guarantee you, like he just said, you'll have a new toy. And but anyway, I love you guys. So see y'all mañana. If I can speak Spanish or something, is that mañana or whatever? And the bracelets, I don't know. Now she'll bring a bunch of them to the meet and greet, but if I put them on the website and stuff, I'm gonna get with her Wednesday, especially one here that says Luminous. I really love it, but she makes some other ones. This one says, I am victorious. So that keeps me focusing when I'm watching this right here. I am victorious. I got one, Mind Be Still. She has a lot of other stuff. We have one that's going to say, truth is our weapon. So she's making one for me for that. You know, truth is our weapon. And so we will do that. I'll get with you. I'll let you know in about a week and see, you know, because this, like I said, is real thick copper. And, you know, you want to so that you can ground it out. All right, so I'm out. Love y'all. Make sure y'all like and share the video, please. Please do.
UFOs. UAPs. Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs. A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
My gosh.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs that landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.